Guys, we're going to be going over the ice shooting very briefly, um, and then going over the bar fight just to add a little bit of levity. Basically, this is really bad. This is much worse than the Renee Good one because a man died, not a woman. No, it's worse because it's so much more blatant, and this is just going to get worse. Was there a second shooting? I mean, there's been more than two, but the second major one. Um, You got banned on Twitter? Oh yeah, real quick update, guys. If you're wondering why I haven't tweeted, liked, reposted, or quoted, as I am known to do, I am also banned on Twitter because I told Drew Pavlo to kill himself in such words as I said, "Hey, there's a donation in Destiny's background that says Drew Pavlo, if you're reading this, you should hang yourself." And I said, well, Drew, you shouldn't have read it because now you got to do it. And somehow, despite all of the Nazi stuff and the crazy, insane stuff you're seeing on Twitter right now, that is what gets you banned for a week. But I will be back, so don't worry. Real quick, I'm gonna have someone on because we're gonna look at the video of what happened. If you do know him, cool. If you don't, now you will. This is Church from Fireside Chats. He is one of the first people I shouted out in the ladders segment. So I'm going to give him a call right now. Let's pop him up. What's good, Vitamin C?
Howdy, partner. How you doing?
You're so southern. I love you, buddy. I'm doing okay. Obviously, this is. I hold on. I do have to say I'm going to preface this because I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I,
I'll go
I
right ahead.
Legal Eagle posted a video and he's like being very serious and taking this as seriously as we should. But he's like crying in the video, and I don't know, maybe I'm a robot and I lack empathy. But like in the same way I felt when like Dean Withers cried when Charlie Kirk got shot. I'm like, okay, this is
Oh Lord.
bad. This is indicative of fascism. This is indicative of ICE being absolutely terrible. However, uh is this like this one person dying worth crying over? Like it's a little weird. And I'm not to say like that you shouldn't feel empathy and sadness for this like pretty much innocent person being killed, but just like when I think of like how bad things are and how many people have died because of the bad things. Like I didn't see people making videos of them shedding a tear for like the thousands of children who starved from like USAID being deprived, but they will for like this one person being like executed. Like both of these things are awful. One is significantly worse. It's
Yeah.
just an interesting reaction to me, but maybe it's because it's like a white American. Like we can kind of put ourselves in the shoes a lot easier than we can of like a starving child in like Burundi. But
I think it's not just necessarily the fact that it's one person versus many, or it's more so that it's so right there in your face and you can see it happening, right? Like
yeah, that's
it's
also
video
true.
evidence in front of you. And the Devin from Legal Eagle, I've watched his stuff for quite a bit. He is, I don't want to say performative. I don't think he's very performative, but he's very passionate about some of these things, and I think some of that comes out a little bit more in some of his videos than others. I can't watch all of his stuff because of that.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I really like
But
Legal Eagle in general, and like I'm not even saying if you shed a tear at this, you're wrong. It was just kind of like interesting. Like this doesn't seem worse as a tipping point than any of the other terrible things that have happened. If anything, I think the Renee Good one was a little more visceral to me because, yeah, sure, in terms of worseness, you can look at the Renee Good situation and say, okay, if you're a fucking bad faith person, you can pretend like the officer's life was a threat, and this one is like they shot this guy in the back, but that doesn't like change the fact that a woman got shot in the face, which after she said "I don't hate you"
no.
and was just like happily protesting. It was just interesting to me. It's not important. The point is this is fucking terrible, and this is an escalation. And like with the Renee Good, like I said, there's like a margin of okay, maybe in a crazy like innocent until proven guilty, we're being super strict. There's a potentiality for this person to get off with no charges. This one is insane to me. And actually, are we allowed to show this on YouTube?
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of the videos on Reddit. I would not recommend showing everything on YouTube, but I don't think there's enough violence for it to. There's not enough specific graphic imagery for you to maybe get busted with it. So
Yeah,
that's up to you, sir.
I
You're
don't
the
think
bigger channel.
there's no blood, and I mean, if it's on NPR's news site, I doubt it'll get us in trouble. But essentially, guys, if like disclaimer, I know I clearly don't have any qualms with stuff like this. I grew up with a live leak, but if you're a little squeamish, don't watch. You're gonna see an innocent man get fucking executed. I don't know what your take on this 100% is. I obviously you think it's wrong, but do you think this was like a they wanted to kill this guy? Because to me it seems like a bunch of fat, incompetent dumbasses stumbled their way into a arrest and escalated and accidentally shot a guy because they're scared and untrained. But like that doesn't make it better. But like we're halfway between okay, we're just shooting people because we're trigger happy to like the okay, we're full on just like shooting dissidents in the street, right? Like we're not there yet, but this is definitely an escalation.
It's definitely an escalation. So to clarify, because I always like to do this for especially people who may not know who I am.
Oh
My
yeah,
my
please.
actual
I'm
name
so
is
sorry. Please introduce yourself, and
oh,
can you
good,
link
good.
me in Discord your channel? I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, of course, of course. My name is Devin Moore. I've just recently separated from the U.S. Air Force, where I had 10 years of law enforcement and military police experience. So I have a bachelor's of criminal justice, and I received a lot of the training that officers should go through when it comes to, de-escalation or even shoot no shoot scenarios. That we've seen over the last few days in Minneapolis, from but the Renee Good shooting and the shooting we just saw the other day. To answer your question as you were saying it, it screams to me as incompetency.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I know I am one to want to do this as well sometimes, but it's difficult to want to jump to them intentionally want to kill people,
Yeah.
because even if you won't give the worst possible interpretations to this administration, a lot of it can just be boiled down to they're hiring people by a large margin, trying to get as many people as they can because their goal is deportations,
Right.
obviously, and that means they're not hiring the best. They're not bringing
But
out
that
the
said,
best.
the people that do want to just gun people down, the people that are like get those like dirty brown people out, those people are joining up ICE too,
Yeah,
right? Like not
to be
every
the
ICE
first
agent
to
is a Nazi. Like, and I'm using this term very strictly, right? Like, yeah, they're all terrible, and
mm,
the reason we keep calling them the Gestapo, we'll get into. But like, not every ICE agent is like a horrible, morbid racist, but probably every morbid racist who wants to like enact their racist fantasies is joining ICE right now, 100%.
yeah, no, I'm not doubting that for a second.
And I agree with the whole idea of like just reacting. Like when this first happened, I was very hesitant to say,
Mm,
oh, like this is definitely unjustified. Obviously, I'm going to lean toward probably, given the fact of what we've seen with her training, how bad things are have been in the past, especially with the Renee Good thing. But like, there's a chance this always can happen. Like, hey, yeah, maybe an Antifa guy drew a gun on them, and it's like just because I fucking hate ICE doesn't mean that they're not maybe justified in shooting at a guy who's going to shoot at them, right? But as soon as the videos come out and you're like, okay, no, like, yeah, this is what I suspected. This is probably even worse than what I suspected. This is just plain incompetence, and they executed the guy. And
yeah,
like people
and
also in chat are saying, sorry to interrupt, real quick, last thing. People are saying like,
no,
oh,
go
it's
ahead.
definitely deliberate. Like, yeah, I'm not saying they accidentally like, oops, my finger slipped on the trigger, but it's like this was a miscarriage of assessing a threat, and yeah, if you do assess a threat, you're supposed to mag dump until that threat's gone, right? But there was not a threat here to the extent to which they assessed it. But yeah, I
No.
still think it was probably incompetence.
Yeah, I think a lot of your chats actually pointing this out as well is and I'm trying to find more information on this, but they've apparently shortened the days for ISIS training to 47 days,
Jesus,
just as a reference to Trump being president number 47.
is that
So
really why? That's so stupid. Holy shit.
I saw a couple of articles mention it. I'm trying to find something more reputable, but they've been very kind of hesitant on the information that's been coming out of ICE and DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Hmm.
But if you want, so to speak on the actual incident itself, if you want, it'd probably be best to actually play some of the video. I
Yes,
know you've shown
I'm about to
the
pull
right.
it up here, but real quick, I wanted to highlight this. Like while I'm doing this, by the
Yeah,
way,
absolutely.
send me your channel. But Pam Bondi, this is the same
Just
thing with the
Discord.
Renee Good thing, where they
Hmm.
said an ICE agent was ran over after a domestic terrorist threatened them.
Hmm.
And what? Sorry, this isn't. Is this Bondi? No, this is Christy Nome said. Um, Pretty approached U.S. Border Patrol with a 9mm semi automatic handgun, and he violently resisted when they tried to disarm him. So if you read that, if you heard that, exactly the image in your mind comes of a guy brandishing a firearm, pointing it at agents, and then doing his best to keep his hands on that firearm while they all, bravely take him down. And I just want you to
Yeah.
keep that in mind when you watch this and just know how much these fucking ghouls are just lying to your fucking face. And like, I take issue with people being like, oh, 1984, they told you to reject the evidence with your eyes. But it's like, this is genuinely like the laziest lying I've seen in quite a while. And it's so brazen, and the fact that like I this is somehow separating the wheat from the chaff of the MAGA, where like even fucking Tim Pool is watching this and saying, hey, this doesn't look like what it is. And it's like, if you get the grifters to be like, I literally can't deny the reality, it's right in front of me. Like, even he was trying to do like, oh well, clearly the wheels were spinning at the ICE agent. But he looks at this and it's like, yeah, you're fucking insane. Now, to be fair, I do see he was like, well, maybe you still had a gun. Hey, who knows? Maybe he had 3 pistols in his pocket. But this is fucking insane. So let's see if this get well. I don't monetize my streams all that hard, so this is not a big deal if I get demonetized. But I'm gonna. Do you want me to share my screen actually, just so you can watch it at the same
Oh,
time?
I'm watching your
Oh,
live
you're
stream as we
you're, you're
speak.
watching it on mute. Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
gotta get you the views there, bud.
Sick. Hold on, real quick before I start this. Yeah, just fair warning, everyone. That if you're sensitive to stuff, but also I'm gonna put your links in the description so people can find you, because I know you just got you're honorably discharged, right?
Yeah.
So
I served my time in service.
go give church some views. Go thank the veterans, all the good. Wait, hold on. Before I link this and say update, did you
Mhm.
kill any Iraqi children?
I will not confirm nor deny. Most of my time was definitely spent in Afghanistan, not Iraq. No, I'm joking.
Okay,
None of
okay,
that.
cool. So you just, well, yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. We're cool with that. No, okay, yeah, guys, go give him some love. But yeah, let's watch this. So, context: he's filming. There's a woman next to him. Woman gets like
Mm.
assaulted by ICE, and let's see what happens. How radicalized am I, guys? If you think this is what it took for me to break TOS, you got another thing coming. I've been way past this. All right, like this is just waking some other people up. All right. All right, so pushes lady down, pepper spraying our victim in the face. He
Yeah,
is leaning
he
over
gets
her,
sprayed as well.
completely like there's no resistance to like he's not fighting them back. Now they're grabbing him. Now they have 8
Mhm.
feral hogs attacking him. Now he does have
Yeah,
a CCW, right? Gun pulled, shoots him 3
now
times
this
in the
is
back.
yeah,
Mag
yep,
dumps him 7 more times.
yeah.
Not even
So
a little bit of a threat. Not even
not
like
in the
he had his
slightest.
hand on the gun and he was about to point it out. He had his hands down his waistband, just like this again. This is similar to. All right, do you know the Fruitvale Station incident?
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
So was it Oscar Grant? I believe his name was. This happened at a BART station in the Bay Area, and
Mhm.
he didn't have any firearm. They were like, maybe he was being rowdy. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, he did not deserve to die. And these BART cops shot this guy in the back. And granted, I'm pretty sure these BART cops were not trying to just blatantly execute. Like, if this was like, Nazi Germany, walk up, put him against the wall, fire him, that sort of shit, right? We're not there yet. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
This is like a step towards it. So this was probably
Yeah.
incompetence, and this is what happened to Oscar Grant, where it's like, oh, in the heat of the moment, I thought I had my taser, I got my gun. Probably wasn't just trying to shoot him for no reason, but like, doesn't matter. Like, you killed a guy. Like, your intent is very, very irrelevant here. And I think it's
Was
a very similar
a
situation.
similar incident in my youth with the citizens on patrol in Florida, where an elderly person who was technically not a cop but kind of a cop did the same kind of thing. It's a very ridiculous mistake that people make with a less than lethal, which would be a taser. This is. It, I've been kind of comparing this in my head to you're familiar with like the Rodney King riots back in LA
Mm-hmm.
where they had the individual on the ground and just incessantly beat him, which caused
Yep.
the whole incident.
Yep.
It's not dissimilar to that, where the person is clearly may not be fully in control or custody,
Yep.
but the escalation of force is unnecessary. I mean, you go the entire time from initial contact with the person, where instead of, they talk about de-escalation techniques, where you talk to the person and say, hey, here's what's happening, here's what you need to do, here's how we calm down the situation. They're not doing any of that.
Wait,
And of
wait.
course, it
What
goes
part?
back.
Which step
Go
is
ahead.
pepper spray them in the face, then grab them with 8 guys?
That's the, oh, you're fighting me and you need to be arrested for a crime. They've clearly gone past any of that. The lack of common sense on any of this is hysterical to me. I did a lot of training with a lot of my troops and a lot of my guys, and we very rarely ever needed to go to the point where we would actually use force. And granted, I will say this, my job experience had a lot to do with military members,
Mhm.
so I had a much different job interacting with the public. But the times I interacted with the public, I was always able to de-escalate a situation from simple conversation. When I worked
Yeah.
with California Highway Patrol, they did the same thing where they called us out one day because they needed support, just a low number of officers. It was like 2019, 2020. And they were arresting an older woman for possession. And all they did was they explained to her the process, say, hey, you need to come to court on this day. We're going to let you go, but
Mhm.
we're going to go ahead and cite you with possession.
We're gonna
There was
do a
no
quick pepper
escalation
spray into
necessary.
your eyes, grab you a little bit, shake you around, then you can drive off and leave. Just don't resist when we do this.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like you understand the process, the training that is going into these situations, and in the same way that this guy had to take classes to get his CCW that told him, "Hey, you are now someone who has lethal force." Not just like, oh, maybe you punch them and they fall down. You have a gun, and you have the ability to pull this gun on people, and your responsibility is to only pull it when you absolutely need to. Not, oh, I'm losing in a bar fight. Not, oh, I got spooked by an acorn that hit the top of a cop car. It is absolutely, like this is the kind
Yeah.
of training I think every firearm owner should have, right? And these people are just these fucking hogs, like stumbling through like the Helldivers tutorial, like, oh, throw the grenade through the hole. All right, we're done. And obviously they're trigger happy as fuck. And for all the people in chat saying like, oh, it was obviously blatant, he wasn't armed. Like you cannot ascertain this. But the point is, even if I'm wrong and you're right, it doesn't matter. The point is they just executed
Hmm.
this guy. And if it's because of incompetence
No.
or because they're like, oh boy, I really wanted to kill someone today, it doesn't matter. This guy's dead because of we have a bunch of untrained dipshit agents Gestapoing around Minneapolis. And it's like I would go so far as to say this is borderline stochastic terrorism, because when you send them into these blue cities knowing full well they're untrained or going to get some sort of pushback, this is inevitable. When people said, hey, Renee Good, this wasn't the last time, this wasn't like, oh wow, we're precognition. This is just fucking obvious. It's just obvious.
No,
And
I completely agree with you,
yeah, like
especially
this is
on
not the
that
last one
portion.
that's going to happen unless they like all back out, which is on the Pam Bondi letter. But real quick, I sent you this and I want to look at it. But then I want you
Go
to
ahead.
talk about like what should have happened here, just because you have the training. Like it
Mhm.
looks like they grab his gun off of him, and it looks like his gun misfires. And so this is why I think it's like, oh, some dipshit got spooked because he heard a gun go off. Like you can see this guy. I think this is his scoped Sig Sauer. I think it goes off right
Mhm.
there, right when they're pulling it off of
Right.
him. I think that just fired, and that was the first shot. And then they're like, "Oh, that's the gun. I have to like I can't see it. It's in a tussle. Oh no, I heard a fucking sound. Mag dump him to make
So
sure he can't kill my fellow hogs." Right? Like that's
yeah,
my
no,
assertion
seriously.
of this.
You would probably be right in that in that aspect. The thing about it is that he pulls the gun before the first shot goes off, as best I can tell. When he pulls the firearm, he reaches for it, which is in of itself the first red flag of what he did wrong. He's aiming a firearm into a group of supposedly fellow ICE agents. That's not great. When you obviously, I'm sure you've had some kind of firearm experience.
Yeah,
You know what's backing through your backdrop, right?
yeah, yeah.
Who is
Full
he aiming at?
four
Where is he
rules
aiming
of
at? Mhm.
yeah firearm safeties.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't point your gun at unless you're willing to shoot it, and absolutely don't flag your fellow ICE officers who are in a tussle with this guy on the floor.
yeah. I do. Whenever I went through some of these, I would show a lot of my guys, hey, here's a video of what not to do. Not because, like, necessarily the use of force was wrong, but because you're also flagging everybody around you with a firearm.
Yeah.
And the one thing I don't want to not trying to get you demonetized, is to get shot by somebody that I'm working with and supposed to trust.
Yep.
And like what he's right there is insane. he's putting the firearm in the range of the other guys' hands and arms as they're grabbing everybody else.
Yeah.
It's that's what screams to me the incompetency about all of it. If it was an intentional, like, oh, we're just gonna go kill that dude.
That's the thing, is
The
like
six.
you would expect it, like, and I know I'm being super Reddit here, but like if they really wanted to
Mhm.
kill this guy and make it look like an accident, there's a lot of ways this could have happened. Like, don't get me wrong, these
We
people are
call it a drop gun. That's what they're called.
bloodthirsty, they're trigger happy, and we saw this with the Renee Good situation, right? Like, there's no reason that guy needed to whip out his gun and fire 3 shots into this car. Like, that it absolutely would not
Yeah.
have stopped that car from moving forward. The car was not moving towards him, it was moving away from him. Like, that guy
Right.
wanted to pull the trigger. So that, like, this is not to say like this isn't murder and this isn't people, like, when I say accident, I don't mean like, oh, like those poor ICE agents just made a little mistake. The point is, like, the difference between an ICE agent whipping out a gun, putting you against the wall and shooting in the back, and the different and I'm trigger happy, and the instant I have any sort of justification to pull my firearm and mag dump, I'm gonna do it, is very little to me. Which is why, like, if you're getting mad at me for this distinction, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to be like, hey, this is probably what happened, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These people want to kill people. They think these, like, oh, we have illegal alien enemies and we have to stop them, and these Americans are like abetting all of the crime. Like, they don't care. So I think it's incompetence. That doesn't matter ultimately. But this is to say, yeah, like the Renee Good situation. If you thought like, yeah, they're willing to murder, like, this is not as bad as that in terms of, I don't think they wanted to whip it out and shoot him and kill him because they thought he was about to kill them, but it doesn't. Yeah, they wanted to do it. Like,
I'm sure you've compared this to the Ashley Babbitt situation from January
oh,
6th
they always
once
bring
or
it up.
twice.
How could you possibly
Yeah.
think that's justified? Well, yeah, the difference of, I've been pointing this firearm at you for 3 minutes and I'm telling you not to come forward, and then you do it. Like, or like compare that to the do you know the Daniel Shaver situation?
Oh, Daniel Shaver, man, you're. I'm not familiar with that one. Give me a
I
little
may I
brief.
might be saying his name wrong, but this is the guy. There's this horrible, like, one of the most brutal, like, dead, high stakes Simon Says games ever. This guy was
Oh yeah,
brandishing
where
his
he's
BB
on the
gun.
ground on all fours,
Right. And it's like, okay, well,
or
if he just followed orders, and the orders are
Mhm.
put your hands in a lock position above your head. Now crawl towards me. Now don't reach for your
Yeah.
waistband. Now, and he's drunk, and it's just like, how could you
This is
possibly
the
get out of this doing everything they're
this is the
asking you
video I
to?
show. Yeah, because they're in the hallway and they tell them to drop on all fours with the
Yeah.
rifles point out. This is
Yeah.
the video I show people actually as a training device of what not to do.
Yeah, and this guy
And
also has the gun, which, did he want to execute this guy? Maybe not. But was this a trigger happy, bloodthirsty guy that said get fucked on his rifle, and he had all his, like, LARPing Punisher shit all over it? Like, yeah. And that's why ultimately it doesn't make the difference. If you escalate situations to the point of, oops, now I got to defend my life, it's like, well, this is kind of your fault. So, um, yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
I fully agree with you. No, I fully agree with you there. That's actually one of the examples I forgot, always forget the name for it, but that's one of the examples I bring up of poor officer instructions, poor accountability, and how they don't know how to communicate with somebody. Because I go and I interact with somebody, it's my 9 to 5. I've done it every single time. When you interact with a law enforcement officer, it could possibly be the worst day of your freaking life.
Absolutely.
And if you don't understand that, if you don't understand the capacity for that, it's very difficult to get that across to some folks. And these guys, look at that little fat lard in the front right there on
This
your
guy.
video.
Oh God, I hope we
Lord,
go get snacks after this
man.
killing, because I'm
The
being stupid and fat makes me hungry.
the the dude who takes his pistol, if that is in fact, because it's very difficult to tell in the footage because
I
of how
think it's
blurry
this
it
guy
is.
who's about to run away. Let me do this, and I don't think I can slow it down, but like this guy right here, I think this is his pistol, right? Like, do you see where my mouse is?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely his pistol. The
Right.
problem is
So
that I can't tell 100% if that pistol goes off in the
yeah, that's
footage.
that's
It
and
appears to.
the horrible thing about this is we're never gonna know for sure. Like, we can analyze this and try to figure it out, but the problem is, like, we can't trust the administration. Like, they could, like,
No,
imagine
absolutely not.
imagine this happening under, like, obviously we can't, but imagine this happening in an Obama administration where it's like, okay, yeah, I don't, like, trust everything the government says, but obviously,
Mhm.
like, they're going to release evidence, and I can more or less ascertain whether or not what they're telling us matches up with what we're seeing. Now, when they say like, he came at these ICE agents and they tried to disarm him, and like they had to kill this domestic terrorist, like, oh well, so I just can't take anything you say for like gospel, not even close. It doesn't matter. Well, also, get that, Griff. Thank you for the 5. When are you going to plug your beef towel Ivermectin. Jokes aside, good stream. Guys, the merch is not happening. Just because I don't have a big enough audience for them to want to make the investment. So for now, it's just going to be the Teespring stuff. Maybe I'll make some shirts. But bigger propeller hat, mask stuff. I'm going to have like 1 million views per vid and like a bunch of subs. But let's finish off this vid, and then I want you to tell me like essentially how this should have gone down from better trained people. And then if you want to stick around, we're going to look at the letter and why this guy's death is bad,
Yeah.
but this is indicative of like what everyone is saying and why calling these people Nazis is not an exaggeration. But yeah, let's just play it. So they're disarming him. This hog is walking around. It looks like they grab the gun. It looks like that it just went off right there. Like obviously it's hard to say, but like this is the everyone gets spooked thing, right? Now obviously if you look at the other angles, he did not have a gun in his hand. He didn't shoot it at anyone. So like
Right.
I don't think these people know what that was. So they're all
No.
like,
They
I
so
have to save my friends.
the other ICE, I'm not going to call the officers because they fucking suck. The other ICE agents, when they initially jump off the body after they hear a gun go off, that's not necessarily wrong. That's them. I'm trying to give these guys. I'm trying to give some kind of credit here to make this make some kind of sense. To be honest with you, I'm reaching for straws. Them getting off because you're supposed to trust the people you're with, and if somebody says, "Oh, there's a gun," I don't see it. So in a situation like that, I want to make sure I'm the most prepared. So
Yeah.
they jump off of him and pull their weapons. That makes sense. The problem is twofold. One, the officer, or no, I'm not gonna, the ICE agent who grabs the pistol may act. It looks like he makes it or causes it to discharge, which is poor trigger discipline on him. Because I know there's some controversy because he has a 6 hour, and I know there were some controversies with these 6 hours.
Yeah, they
They're
go off
not
sometimes.
yeah, they're not so easy to go off that him running away with it like that would cause this to happen.
Hmm.
So that even said, when he takes the weapon off him, the other officer, I'm gonna keep doing that by habit. The other ICE agent pulls out his weapon.
Just call them hogs. I've been calling them hogs. It's working so well.
Hey, well, I'm trying to keep some kind of friends in
Nah.
the LE community. Anyway,
Mm.
so
Well,
the
hold
other
on,
ICE
hold on. You
agent,
don't have to call every
go ahead.
officer a pig, but specifically
course.
these guys are hogs. Okay.
You know what? You make a good argument there. But the one who does the initial shot, he pulls out the weapon after he turns around. If you from the first angle we saw before, we have three preconditions for deadly force. It's opportunity, capability, and intent. Now,
Yeah.
the intent is obvious. Does someone have the intent to kill you? Right.
Right.
That's the thing that gets argued from the Renee Good one a little bit. The opportunity and capability, he never had the opportunity. He had no weapon on in his hand, so he could not do it. He had the capability technically because he did have a firearm on him,
Right.
but that's reaching at most.
Right.
When they're all
Wait, can I draw a comparison and you can tell me like if this is similar, like when you're at a traffic stop, right? And it's like, hey, I have a firearm in my glove compartment. Like you tell this to the officer pulling you over, and like suddenly they reach for it. It's like, okay, they don't have a gun in their hands, but it's like, wait, why are you reaching into your glove compartment, right? Like this is like that's starting to become a more justifiable threat at that point, especially if they're not like, hey, you commanded me to grab this, but rather like I'm just reaching for it for no reason. It's like, whoa, what are you doing, right? Like that's the escalation, right point.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. You're on the money there. It's I like to compare it a lot to there was a former Marine who became a police officer who was fired because he did not use deadly. His claim was that he didn't use deadly force, and the police department uh, reprimanded him from that. Where essentially he responded to somebody who was threatening to harm himself. I'm not trying to demonetize you again. Harm himself
Yeah,
with a
that's fine.
firearm, and but because he wasn't pointing it at anybody and just had the firearm in his hand, the Marine, when he shows up on scene, tries to de-escalate and say, "Hey, man, don't do this. Let's talk about it." Another cop comes around and puts two lugs in him,
Yeah.
and everybody goes home. And the Marine claims that he was fired because he tried to de-escalate because of his experience in Iraq and his time in the Marine Corps. He didn't perceive that person as a threat because he
Right.
didn't have the intent,
Which is so
which was the
funny
key
because
thing
it's
there.
like you're in a literal war zone and you're better at escalating these fucking feral hogs who are in like a civilian area.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so ridiculous.
It's the reason that I think, especially during 2020, you saw a lot when the National Guard came in. You saw a lot of people, even the protesters, respond better to them than they did the local law enforcement.
Yep.
And I think it does speak heavily to even now, when with everything that's happening, the military is still somewhat trusted, in a lot of experience on this.
All right.
So,
Real
but
quick, sorry,
it's
I got one more
oh, go
super
ahead.
from Cool Boy. Thank you for the 5. I wonder, I wonder what Charlie Kirk would say. He's been very quiet for months. Jokes aside, love the streams. Yuta is a bum. I don't know who Yuta is, but thank you very much, Cool Boy. Um, yeah, Charlie hasn't said a racist thing in quite a few months, which I do appreciate. But uh, the idea that like obviously you in the military or anyone in the military is going to have more training than these idiots is important. But like even just like before any of this happened, you've got two people walking away, a woman filming, and like she's not approaching him, she's not assaulting him, she's probably saying things that get him triggered. And because these are trigger happy
Yep.
hogs, it's like, oh, how do I de-escalate the situation? Because like, look, have you ever had someone screaming in your face when you were in the military? Have you ever had
Oh
like,
yeah.
right, like you can just say like, hey, like, ma'am, back off. Like, there's literal videos of like ICE people doing this. And it's like, I
Mhm.
know you're capable of this, but like, oh, what does this lady deserve when she is standing still, not approaching you, has no weapon in her hand, and is just calling you a pig? Oh, you know what? I should push this person down. I should physically assault this person, potentially literally, and I don't say this facetiously, potentially kill her. Like, if you shove someone onto the
Yeah.
pavement and they hit their head wrong, they're dead. Okay? Now, this probably isn't going to happen, but there's absolutely no reason to do what, like, this guy just did. And this is, like, without a doubt, if this guy had drawn his firearm, like, I would still blame them for escalating the situation to the point where they are. But he didn't even do that. So
Absolutely.
don't have to imagine that hypothetical. But, like, this guy
This.
also
Yeah.
steps in, and this is why so many people are, like, so broken up about this. This guy doesn't assault him afterwards. He just steps in between them after
Yeah.
watching this guy just assault this woman for no fucking reason. I think what was his last words were, "Are you okay?" to this woman. That's what's so
Yeah.
fucking insane. Like all these deaths are not guy charging ICE with a firearm, woman, suicide bombing with her car. It's I don't hate you. Are you okay? And they're getting gunned
Yeah.
down. It's fucking insane. Like yeah. So obviously like the pepper spraying is bad enough, but like even here when they're grabbing him off of her, it's not like he's not trying to assault them to stop the pepper spraying. He's covering this lady and trying to help her up. So yeah, I know I made fun of the tearing up, but now I'm getting a little sad. Like this is so fucking insane. Um
Damn legal, huh?
yeah. Uh any other comments on just like how fucking stupid and incompetent these people are before we move on to the
It's
letter?
hilarious. Dude, it's hilariously bad. Him shoving her down is a complete. It's a farcical. I can't describe how stupid it is. It's unnecessary. It's assault. It's assault by a police officer. You don't do that with somebody. If he was going to arrest her, he could, turn her around, throw her on the hood of the car, whatever you want to do,
And he
right?
would
Like maybe an
and he would
escalation of
still say
force, but
something first, right? Like, "Hey, ma'am, turn around and
exactly.
get on the car." Like, it's not like she's running or like grabbing him or anything. It's like your
Yeah,
immediate reaction is let's push him down, right? Like,
yeah, no, it's a joke.
ugh.
These people are a freaking disgrace.
Yeah, and obviously, I think you pointed this out, but like his firearm is drawn here, and I believe he's already disarmed at this point, right? And like,
Yes.
this is why I think it's incompetence, right? Because look, if you wanted to shoot this guy, there's a million ways that this could have gone down. But it's like you've got all these, look, if you're in a if you're in a pit of pigs, all right, you're gonna be a little confused when all the pigs are smashing into each other, and you hear gun, and then you hear a shot go off. You'd be like, oh no, like he
Mm.
must have, in the movies where they're like kneeling and they're like, oh, you got me, but they got their gun like under their waistband, and like you're so gung ho, like I got to stop him from doing the crazy shot, like he's gonna take us all down with his quick fire draw, and it's like, all right, like you're so fucking incompetent and stupid and don't know how to de-escalate, and you thought this justified shooting this guy in the back twice. Then they all back off and like mag dump him, like, oh, we got to make sure the threat's gone, like this like shot right here is so indicative of just like you fucking hogs. Like you
No,
got
I agree.
6 fucking pieces of shit pointing their guns at a guy who's probably already gonna bleed out and die, and just mag dumping him. This one guy's mag dumping him. Like,
The You said something earlier where you said like mag dump until the threat is gone. It's
yeah,
so very freaking, and I understand like everyone tries to defend, law enforcement. We're like, oh well, it was adrenaline going through. No, you train to until the threat is gone. The threat was gone. so many different times. And like this right here pissed me the hell off, where they're just walking around, not bothering to do anything. If this was a cut and clear, oh, he had a weapon, he was about to hurt somebody, you go in and immediately take the weapon, which
Right.
they clearly have already done. You then
But
put the person in handcuffs and
they
render aid. And
right, and they look for it, and I believe they say like, "Where's the gun?" at a certain point. Like, I don't know if we can hear that
mhm.
in this one, but like they're looking for it. Is this the?
Oh my god, you fucking people, man! You're fucking
Oh, I got you
people!
muted
Nah, I
on
don't. I.
Why would you
I'm
do
just listening.
that?
Hold on. I don't know if they say it, or if they say you can hear it in this video, and that might be misinformation. But it's just like, yeah, like obviously, like these people are not on the same page, don't know how to de-escalate. It's just a cavalcade of terribleness.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can definitely tell to speak on the administration's aspect, and they did this at the Renee Good. It's not just the fact that like the Renee Good, okay, maybe yeah, kind of sort of the car was there, but it's the fact that they don't allow any investigation to happen, that they're hiding the
oh
information and
yeah,
then immediately lying about it.
hmm
It's hilariously incompetent
right.
about the fascism about all this.
And that's a good transition into the fascist aspect of this. But real quick, I want Trump to watch the video because I don't know if you remember what happened with Renee Good, but he's
Mhm.
like, they tried to run her over. It was very bad. And then he watches the video and he's like, oh, well, I guess that's not exactly what happened, right? And like, I wonder if he would genuinely have like a Trump moment where he watches this and he's like, that looks worse than like what everyone is telling me to say, right? Because he hasn't actually seen it. But on the fascism thing, and like the reason everyone keeps saying Gestapo and like enforcement arm of the president, SS, and all this crap, it's because this is all under the pretense of let's clean up our cities and get the illegal immigrants out, and ignoring the like irony of like what is customs and border patrol doing, like, oh, we're cleaning out all the illegal immigrants, and out of the country. Oh, what border state are we on? Like fucking Minnesota. It's like, oh, are they coming in from
Seriously.
Canada? Like, don't get me wrong, obviously I'm aware of the fact that illegal immigrants can go to different states, but it's insane that like this is where like the precipice of the fight is right now. Like, you're not hearing
Well, you know
about this.
why,
And
right?
in part, I mean, what we're about to read the letter, but what was your reason?
So the reason they're going for Minnesota specifically is one is obviously the whole George Floyd thing. There's been a lot of
Yeah,
precedent for that,
and
and
and the Nick
two
Shirley
is
stuff, right? The fraud.
yeah, that whole fraud crap that they're going on about, and that apparently justifies all of ICE's actions.
Yep.
Because you see this, like the entire Trump administration is punishing perceived enemies. It's the reason he's not even
Yeah.
allowing FEMA to pay California or other Democratic states
Right. Which I mean,
for.
I cannot believe, like, of all the things, and I hate how much I sound like the people I thought were being cringe in like 2016, where it's like Trump has crossed another line. This is the final straw. He can't get away with this. But it's like we have a president who is collectively punishing states with aid. How is that not like an impeachable offense of like, hey, you're not serving the American people, you're punishing your political enemies and their constituents and red people in blue states who would still support you? That's fucking insane to me. I don't know how anyone is okay with this, let alone the fucking idiot in charge. But like any principled person who is still a Republican, like I like how do you defend that? I don't know. Um,
The thing about it is, man, it really just happens to be the misinformation. It is the information they're receiving. If all they watch is Tim Pool on a daily basis or like YouTube Shorts or TikTok, they're not going to see any of this because that's not what's being put out there. It's not what Joe Rogan's talking about on a daily basis.
well,
And that's the
I'm
reason
talking
Charlie
about
Kirk
the,
was so
the
influential.
fucking Congress. I'm talking about the House and the Senate, and it's like
Oh, those
like
people have no morals to begin with.
I guess like Mike Johnson, like the like I don't know what you're talking about is always the answer, I guess. Which I don't know. Maybe we should start doing that more. Like, oh, I heard this horrible thing happen from a left wing person. Don't know what you're talking about. But this is the letter from Pam Bondi to Governor Waltz, and
Mhm.
if you had any pretense or presupposition, like, well, I mean, yeah, I don't agree with what they're doing, but they're just trying to make our streets safe. And what are the demands here? Is it stop being a sanctuary city and like let us do our job? Partly, but really it's share all of the records on Medicaid, food, and SNAP so that we can root out fraud. So something that ICE should have absolutely nothing to do with. And even if you're
No.
talking about the Nick Shirley thing, 90+% of Somali immigrants are legal citizens. There's not a fuck ton of illegal Somali people in Minnesota. These are people that came here legally. Now, second, they do say, well, you got to repeal the sanctuary policies. There's so much crime and violence in your state, which is interesting because, like, I don't know the numbers off my top of my head, but like, take a wild guess before I look this up. What do you think the crime rate in Minnesota is?
Oh,
Minnesota murder
so I
rate.
do murder rate. Oh, Christ, it is higher than the national average.
Hmm.
It has been going down the last couple of years. I don't know the exact amount off the top of my head, but it's not the crazy number. Because I actually did a lot of my last class for college was about Minnesota specifically. But it's not the most insane in the nation, and it has gone down in the last couple of years.
Doesn't look insane to me. Yeah. I know I'm not
No,
comparing this to
yeah.
other cities, but also I don't know if this looks like the sentence like 2017. But like, it's just the
So
idea that like when you hear Republicans talk about this, they're saying, it's the same with the George Floyd thing. We burned down cities. The country was on fire, and like this is just not fucking happening. Like you would think that like
if
there's just like illegal immigrants roaming the streets at like gangs of ICE agents and shooting people, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I agree with you there. It's the fact that like that chart you bring up or you just brought up, I bring up this fact a lot, is that if you go back to especially the early 90s, the crime rate nationwide was so significantly higher. And we can play around with statistics a lot on this where you see a 2% increase in crime, which seems, or like a 5%, it seems dramatic, but relative to where it was, even like a one or two extra murders would cause a large increase just to how much lower it is
Because the
historically
population's
compared to
so
where it
low.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like saying like I know this isn't the case, but it's like the murders go from like 2 to 5, and it's like hundreds of percentage increase in murder rate, and it's like okay, well maybe you just had a slightly worse year. You got to look at these numbers. I mean, it's not even in the top 100 most dangerous cities, which somehow justifies like ICE going in, but like I don't know. I mean, again, this is because California is partly not being as cooperative, but like where are the ICE agents doing like crazy fucking crackdowns in Birmingham? You don't see
Oh,
this like
seriously.
or Anchorage, Alaska or whatever, right? Like it's just such an
Oh,
obvious
the Anchorage,
bullshit.
Alaska statistic, that one's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I didn't know Anchorage was that dangerous. Okay, but
Like
this is
it's the statistics, man. They're a fun game.
yeah. Um this is what seals the deal for me. Like if you thought calling them the Gestapo was an exaggeration. Third
Oh, no.
demand from Bondi: allow the Civil Rights Division to access voter rolls to confirm Minnesota's voter registration, to comply with federal law and is authorized with the Civil Rights Act. Um, this is all about election crap. This is about
Ye-
enforcing Trump's will. This isn't about cleaning up the streets. ICE has nothing to do with voter rolls. Now, don't get me wrong. If somehow, ICE was able to track down illegal voters, which there are like less than what, like a dozen in like decades of like a person voting illegally, let
Oh,
alone
yeah.
illegal
The
immigrant voting.
Heritage Foundation, yeah, the Heritage Foundation has a very up to date list of all the illegal voting, and it's like 12 people a year.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Someone just said, "What is that signature? Is she illiterate?" Like, yeah. Wait, this is kind of embarrassing. What the fuck? This does look like a child drew it with like their hand, like when they fist the whole crayon. Like, yeah, it does look like that. But yeah,
Lord.
it's like the idea that this is like, oh well, we're just trying to make voter like rolls safe. No, fucking, of course not. This is part of Trump's drummed up voter fraud narrative. The same reason he was able to
Yep.
lie us into the 2020, insurrection. The same reason they're like back in 2016 saying like millions of illegals voted. I would have won the popular vote if not for them. It's all fucking lies. There's absolutely no like justification behind this, and they're using this as of enforcement agent of this ridiculous made up bullshit. And this is the Gestapo. I'm sorry, this is the executive branch getting an administration of people, dumb fat hogs with guns, to go around and enforce their will. It's not about enforcing immigration law, and that's why when
No,
people
it's
used
not
to
about
say
enforcing any law whatsoever.
right, and people used to say abolish ICE, and I'm like, fucking do it. This is not a moderate. This is the moderate position now of like this is a corrupt, like fraudulent organization that has absolutely nothing to do with like immigration and customs control anymore. It is about enforcing the fucking dictator's will. And if you want to enforce the border and enforce immigration, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but ICE is not the institution that should, because these people are rotten to the core and they need to go. So it's fucking
I
insane.
think the because you did see when Trump got that big beautiful bill, the big bull crap passed. The funding for ICE is actually more right now than it is for the Marine Corps. So ICE by itself
Wow.
would be one of the largest militaries in the world. Yeah. And I've
Mhm.
had to give a lot of people kind of an eye opening to that because that's insane. That is astronomically insane for any branch of the government to have, because the military is the largest, one of the largest spending things we have, the DoD, to give them an entire branch's worth of funding to deport people. I mean, you have Matt Waltz saying this was several weeks ago. We don't need a deportation of 11 million. We need 40 million people to deport.
Yeah, they
That is
always increase the number. It's like it's 11. Actually, it's 60. Actually, it's 100. Yeah,
Chris.
5.5 billion. That is more than the Marines, right? What is the Marine budget?
Oh, Marine Butch up to, I don't know off the top of my head. You forgive me. The Jarheads never really paid me nice, but
Crayons are
it's
going up right now, you know? Like gotta really like
listen.
to be fair,
Speaking of
the
which,
ice agents eat a lot fewer crayons or more crayons because they're so big, but
let me double check myself real quick. 'Cause I always like to try to give the most up to date information I can. Marine Corps budget is how much was the ICE budget?
about 5.5 billion, give or take.
5.5 billion. Oh, I guess I might have been incorrect there. I'll have to
Oh
figure out where I
my
got my mention because the
God,
Marine
he's
Corps says
lying to us.
57.2 billion.
The Marine Corps is
Uh,
57
my
billion.
mistake. My
Wow, so
mistake.
you were off by a factor of almost 90% margin of error there. That's fine. It doesn't matter. The point is
90%
these people.
margin there. Yeah, I was mistaken.
It doesn't matter. The point is like, yeah, when you bring up these sorts of analogies of like, oh, that's more funding than the entire like country of Mauritania, and it's like, okay, what? So what? The point is that it should not be funded to this degree, and if you are funding to this degree, holy shit, can you make them competent? Like, imagine the Obama administration trying to enforce the border and him being the deporter in chief. Oh wait, I don't have to. That's what happened, and you wouldn't have people protesting, like because you went and removed like actual rapists and like criminals and shit, right? Like the fact that this is how they're painting it as it's because why are you defending like pedophiles? And it's like, first of all, you voted for Trump. Second of all,
Yeah.
like it's clear, like maybe you don't get it, but we're mad about the fact that you're going into our like living places and our cultural centers and taking people that don't deserve to get kicked out, not because you're deported. Like no one would be protesting for the fucking, oh, I don't like that you removed the town rapist. Like we were friends. And at the same time, I think you saw that they strangled that guy in prison and probably killed him. And that guy
Oh
was,
yeah.
I think, a convicted pedophile, right? Like he probably was a horrible person. And it's like, I'm not going to protest his release, but I am going to protest the fact that you shouldn't be killing people extrajudicially in prison because it doesn't matter what they did. That's not how we do things. In the same way, Kilmar Abrego Garcia might have been a trafficker. Like, that doesn't matter. You don't deport him illegally. Like, you follow the law. So these people are, I don't know, like, they're running out of excuses. Which is good, but like the fact that it needs to get to the point where we watch a guy get gunned down in the back for like the last shred of reason to finally wake these people up and get them out is insane. Yeah. But yeah, these people are the
To,
good
to
shot.
clarify my earlier mistake, I just found where I was. So ICE has 85 billion at its disposal, but that's supposed to be paid out over the next couple of 4 years or so.
Okay.
85 billion, and the Marine Corps budget was for the
50
next year
something.
was
Yeah.
57. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I
you.
got the information from.
Okay. So you weren't lying. You were just
No.
distributing it in a different way.
Yeah. To compare, 10 years ago, their budget was 6 billion. So bit of an increase.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for telling us how a good, God-fearing soldier is supposed to act. Any last thoughts on this fucking tragedy?
Fuck guys, fuck Trump. Holy crap.
Hell yeah. Real quick, guys, if I'm making a video on this, I did apply to ICE, and I'm doing an A/B test too. Like one, I've applied with my regular resume, and seeing if they accept me, and I'm super overqualified, obviously, because I have like a bachelor's in engineering. But then I'm gonna apply like and just keep dumbing down to see what happens. Because like I'm going to literally like they have personal statements and be like, oh God, I sure do fucking hate the Mexicans. They ruin our culture, and I will do everything to get them out. Like, would that get me into ICE? I don't know. But we'll see. But if that does go through, I'll make a video. Otherwise, this is just part of a bigger problem, and I still got to work on the Epstein one. Where can people find you? Your link's in the description, but give me your elevator pitch.
Yeah, so my name is Devin Moore. Sometimes I go by Church Online, but I am the host of the Fireside Chats on YouTube. I try to mostly fight misinformation and do it in a little bit of Southern charm, as they would say. So if you guys, I'm trying to get a little bit more, obviously not as active or as handsome as the soy pill over here, but we're doing our best.
Hey, you're the one who actually gets women, all right? So
I see the pickle Rick in the back. I can't tell you how much of a lady killer that is.
oh yeah, and I have this stupid hat on. What am I doing? All right. Well, thanks
But
for
hey,
joining,
I
buddy.
appreciate you letting me come on and chat.
Yeah, I appreciate you and the work you do. Guys, go check them out. It's in the oh god, you almost got laugh. Why does everyone ship every female that's on screen at the same time as me? You guys are insane. Um, yeah, go check them out. Links in the description. Thanks for coming on, and I'm gonna watch the bar fight now. If you guys want to stick around for that. So,
I appreciate you, bud.
all right, see you.